All right, we're going to learn about graphing linear equations. The key vocabulary: solutions to the linear equation, a pair of numbers x and y that make a linear equation true. So that's how we have the table of values over here set up. This is the equation y equals x plus 1. When you plug in the x values of -1, you get a 0 for y. Plug a 0 in, 1 for y. Plug a 2 and you get a 3 for y. So then the ordered pair is written as -1, 0, 0, 1, 2, 3. So those are all solutions of linear equations. A linear equation is an equation whose graph is a line. The points on the line are solutions of the graph. So if we were to take these ordered pairs and plot them, a linear equation is always going to have a line as the drawing. So the example 1, graphing a linear equation. Graph y equals -2x plus 1. Well, we have multiple steps that we need to follow. The first one, step 1, make a table of values. So this particular problem does already give you a table of values, but that's not always going to be the case when you're doing your homework or when you're working on the test. So you have to know how to set it up. So I'm going to choose the values -1, 0, and 1. I always like to have 0 somewhere in there, and I like to have smaller numbers. So then that's going to give me -2 times 1 plus 1, which will give me the answer of 3. So that means that y equals 3. So my ordered pair is -1, 3. When I plug 0 in, -2 times 0 plus 1. 0 plus 1 is 1. So we have the ordered pair of 0, 1. And you know what? I'm actually going to change this 1 into a 2. Just because we had that similar to up there. You could choose whatever values you want. So -2 times 2 plus 1, that's -4 plus 1, that's a -3. So then we have 2, -3. All right, step number 2, we're going to plot the ordered pairs. All right, so I'm actually going to draw that over here. So we know that our x's, you want to go from -1 to 2, and the y's, you want to go from -3 to 3. Do the best that you can. So -1, 3 is our first point. We have 0, 1, and then we have 2, 1, 2, down 1, 2, 3. In case you guys forgot, the x's tell you to go left or right, the y's tell you to go up or down. So your first value is left or right, your second value is up or down. So I plotted the ordered pairs. Step 3 is to draw a line through the points. And I actually added in step number 4 that I'd like you guys to put in there. We're going to label the line. It's a really good habit to get into now because you'll eventually have multiple lines showing, and having the constant knowledge of labeling it will make it easier later on down the road. So y equals -2x plus 1. Perfect. All right, so key ideas. The graph of y equals b is a horizontal line. That passes through 0b. So here we have 0b, it's a horizontal line. The graph of x equals a is a vertical line. That passes through A0. So again, that's right here. It's A0. Okay, so we're going to move on to example number 2. Get that board set up. Graphing a horizontal and vertical line. So we're going to graph y equals -3. So I'm going to plug in x, I don't know. We'll go -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. You could have gone further to the left or to the right with the x values, it doesn't matter. Since there's no x in here at all, there's nothing to plug it in. So no matter what, y equals -3. y equals negative 3, y equals negative. So all of these, no matter what, y is going to equal negative 3. So to plot that, negative 1, negative 3, left, down, 0, negative 3, 1, negative 3, 2, negative 3, 3, negative 3, and then you're going to connect your points. Lastly, step 4, you're going to label it y equals negative 3. So I already had my table of values set up for B and C. You don't have it on your paper, so you guys are going to need to write that down. And then we're going to choose some values for the next graph. In this case, x equals 2. It's always going to be 2, no matter what. You can choose negative 4, negative 2, 0, 3. No matter what, it's still going to be the answer of 2. So if we go 2, negative 4, 2, negative 4s here, 2, negative 2, 2, 0, and 2, 3. So you're going to have that vertical line. Now, if you're wondering whether or not you should be using a ruler, that is the ideal situation is to use it. But if you don't, I really highly recommend actually using the ruler. So if you guys have one, great. If you don't, I recommend go getting one and trying it. All right, so on your own, go ahead. You guys can pause this, then you can come back after you've tried it. So we're going to graph the linear, front my arrow there, equation. Y equals 3x. So my y values, I'm going to choose negative 1, 0, and 1. Again, I like really small values. Plug in the negative 1. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. Then plug in the 0. That's 0, and that's 1, 3. So these are my order pairs, negative 1 and negative 3. So negative 1 down 3. There we go. 0, 0 is the origin. And then to the right 1 up 3. I'm going to connect my points. Last thing I need to do, y equals 3x. Oh, that reminds me. What did I not do in letter C? That is correct. I did not label it. X equals 2. So I did go back and I did take care of that. Going on to letter E. I'm going to choose these. When we have fractions, I look at the denominator and I figure out what are multiples of 2 to get rid of that. So I'm going to go negative 2, 0, 2, and 4. Now the requirement is 3 points. So it's totally fine if you choose just do negative 2, 0, and 2, 0, 2, 4. I don't care, but you need to have 3 points. So a negative times a negative is a positive. Half of 2 is 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. All right, 0 plus 2 is 2. Half of 2 is 1. Negative 1 plus 2 is 1. Half of 4 is negative 2. Negative 2 plus 2 is 0. So I'm going to go negative 2 up 1, 2, 3. Over 0 up 2. To the right 2 up 1. To the right 4, 0. And then I'm going to label this. Y equals negative 1/2 x plus 2. One reason why it's important that you guys use a ruler, you can see from my letter E that graph's a little, wonky. Overall, it's pretty good. But, all right, example 3, the real life application. The wind speed y in miles per hour of a tropical storm is y equals 2x plus 66, where x is the number of hours after the storm enters the Gulf of Mexico. So we're going to graph the equation. Now, it does have the picture of the hurricane. That is important information. A tropical storm becomes a hurricane when wind speeds are at least 74 miles per hour. That's just additional information that we don't need right this moment. So I chose the values 0 through 3. So then that way it's the beginning where it has not, occurred more than 0 hours, 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour. So I'm going to plug those in. 2 times 0 plus 66. Well, that's going to be 66, so our ordered pair there is 0, 66. Then 2 times 1 plus 66, that is 68. So that's 168 for my ordered pair. 2 times 2 plus 66 is going to give me 70. So that's 2 comma 70. And then we have 2 times 3 plus 66. That's going to be 72. So 3 comma 72. All right, well, our graph, this one's going to be set up a little bit differently because our first value for our y is going to be 66. Well, I don't want to have to show numbers 0 through 66. So I'm going to do this thing that's called a heartbeat line. or I'm sorry, it's a number line break. It kind of looks like a heartbeat. And then I'm going to have my first value be 66, 68, 70, 72, 74, 76, 78. And then I labeled 1 through 4 down here. So I'm going to plot 066. So it's 066. Then we go from that to 168. Then 270, 372, and it would just keep going from there. So I'm going to connect those points. So letter G says, when does the storm become a hurricane? Well, going back to what the picture says below, a tropical storm becomes a hurricane when wind speeds are at least 74 miles per hour. So that means if at 3 hours it's at 72 miles per hour, if we were to keep following this pattern of adding 2, then that would be 74 at hour 4. So this is after 4 hours. If you want, you can make your table values bigger and you can show that work. That's fine. All right, fantastic job. Go ahead, try your problems.